California man accused of attempting to assassinate Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh 3 years ago, pleading guilty in federal court today. Nicholas Roski was found outside the Kavanaugh home in suburban D.C. back in 2022, armed with a gun, knife, and zip ties. He will be sentenced on October 3rd and could face life in prison. So it has now been 7 months since the second attempt on the life of President Trump, when suspect Ryan Ruth allegedly pointed a gun at the former president and the current candidate at that point through a golf course fence in Florida. He was stopped only because a Secret Service agent was a hole ahead of where the president was playing on that course and spotted the barrel of that gun through the bushes before the president advanced to play that hole.
Yep. You want to go with?
Keep walking!
What's your name, boss? Ryan?
Yep. So that happened really because a woman was smart enough to take down his license plate number. When he tried to get away, she thought something looked suspicious, so thank goodness for that. We were told so little about either assassination attempt against the current president and the men behind them while President Biden was still in office. But now, 7 months later, these disturbing details, an alleged effort by Ruth, there was more. He also wanted to, according to these documents, purchase military weapons because he, quote, needed equipment so that Trump cannot get elected. New court documents released ahead of his trial, which will happen in September, reveal that he, quote, sought to purchase military weapons online from an associate he believed to be a Ukrainian. The two had discussed the July 2024 attempt to assassinate Trump, with Ruth writing, "I wish," about the Butler attempt, and then said, "Send me a rocket-propelled grenade or Stinger, and I will see what we can do." Unclear who Ruth was actually communicating with here. With that, we bring in Richard Staropoli. He served as a special agent in the Secret Service for 25 years and served in the Presidential Protective Division. Richard, thank you very much for being here. So what do you make of what we're learning here?
What do I make of this? You know, the question is, why do we know so little about these two investigations? The answer is because so little was done. This is a glaring example of how politically compromised the senior leadership of both the Secret Service, the FBI, and the Department of Homeland Security was during the Biden administration. The only reason this minimal amount of investigation was even done is because it was so publicly seen and because the Secret Service actually fired shots at this guy. Otherwise, I'd say, in my opinion, nothing would have been done. Just like in Butler, right? Why was that body burned so quickly? Where was the level of investigation that should have been done? Here's two glaring examples of two people who were trying to take out the guy who was going to become the next president of the United States, and we don't even know the most basics about either of these two folks.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. The Thomas Crook story and the investigation was like hours long, basically. Oh, it's all gone. No social media footprint, no nothing. I want to show this. This is another court document for Ryan Ruth, but trying to buy this rocket-propelled grenade. And in this one, he says, "Send me an RPG or Stinger, and I will see what we can do." He asked about the price and whether his associate could, quote, ship it to me.
Yeah, how is it that no one in the entire U.S. intelligence apparatus had a handle on who this guy is? Here's a guy that's exchanging emails, and we don't know with who yet, but I have my suspicions. For all I know, it's the Ukrainians, with the support of the corrupt Biden administration. Yet no one has any color on who this guy is or what he's all about. The guy's talking about blowing up a plane, not just for the former president of the United States, but for the guy who's going to become the next president of the United States. And that wouldn't have happened in just a vacuum.
Yeah,
had he detonated that RPG, there would have been 100 people killed.
Right, you are. It says he showed his destructive intent, Ruth did, for other steps such as surveillance at Palm Beach International Airport and his active tracking of President Trump's plane and his stated intent to destroy the plane in his Dear World letter. So, Richard, thank you very much. I hope you'll come back when we get to this.
Anytime.
Before that, but also when we get to this trial, which is going to be very interesting in September.
Yes,
Richard
it will.
Staropoli, former Secret Service, thank you for your service, and thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.